So, have you ever felt like your brain is secretly binge watching a Netflix series while you're asleep?
Oh, definitely.
You know exactly what I mean, right? You wake up, you go about your day, you deal with the traffic, the emails, making dinner, and then you go back to bed, hit the pillow, and boom.
The dream picks up exactly where it left off.
Yes, it's the ultimate cliffhanger. Or maybe it isn't a direct continuation. Maybe it's just the same plot repeating over and over, like a movie reel that got jammed.
Right, like you're back in that same hallway.
Exactly. You're missing that flight again, or you're taking that math test you absolutely didn't study for.
Which is such a common experience, and it can feel incredibly relentless.
Relentless is the perfect word for it. Because it starts to feel a bit haunting, honestly. You start asking yourself, is this a premonition? Is it bad luck? Am I cursed?
Right.
But looking at the research we have for today's deep dive, the consensus is that it's not a ghost. It's actually a notification.
That is a brilliant way to put it. It's a notification on your mental phone that just hasn't been swiped away yet.
I love that. So today we're doing a deep dive into dream sequences and recurring threads. And just to set the expectations right out of the gate for everyone listening, we are not doing the dream dictionary thing today, are we?
No, we are definitely not. We aren't looking for lucky numbers, and we aren't going to tell you that seeing a snake means you're going to win the lottery tomorrow.
Thank goodness, because those always feel so arbitrary to me.
They really are. The mission today is much more practical. We want to decode why your subconscious is playing these reruns. We want to understand what specific files your brain is trying to process.
The unfinished business.
Exactly. And ultimately, we want to figure out how to close the case so you can finally get a peaceful night's sleep.
Closing the case. I really like that framing.
Yeah.
So let's start with the mechanics of this. Why does the brain actually do this? Why invest the energy to create a sequel or an endless loop?
Well, to understand that, we have to look at something called the open loop theory. This is really the core psychological mechanism driving these recurring dreams.
The open loop theory, it sounds like a software glitch.
In a way, it kind of is. The human brain, and specifically the parts that are responsible for memory and emotional regulation, absolutely hates things that are pending.
Oh, it wants to check the box.
It desperately craves closure. It loves a checkbox. So if a conversation or a task or even just a really strong emotion is left unfinished in your waking life, the brain tags it as an open loop.
Okay, so wait. If I just leave the dishes in the sink before bed, am I going to dream about a giant sponge?
I mean, you might. But usually the brain prioritizes emotional resonance over, basic household chores. It's not necessarily about the dirty plate itself.
Right.
It's more about the guilt of being lazy or maybe the argument you had with your partner while you were standing at that sink. Until that emotional loop is closed, the subconscious is going to pick it up and work overtime on it while you sleep.
It's exactly like when your computer fan starts whirring really loudly when you're not even using it, just because it's indexing files in the background.
Precisely. That's a great analogy. And based on the source material we're looking at today, there are 3 distinct causes for this fan whirring. 3 reasons the subconscious decides to work the night shift.
Okay, lay them on us. What is number 1?
Number 1 is unfinished business. This is the most direct, obvious cause. It refers to unsaid apologies, big decisions you're actively avoiding, or lingering regrets.
Like brushing something under the rug during the day.
Yes. Maybe you bit your tongue in a meeting to keep the peace, and consciously you tell yourself you've moved on.
You say, oh, I'm over it. It's fine.
Right, but the mind remembers. It knows you aren't actually over it at all, so it replays the scenario at night to try and find a resolution.
That makes so much sense. It's like when you have a fake fight with someone in your head while you're taking a shower, but the brain is just doing it while you're in a REM cycle.
It's a rehearsal. The brain is running a simulation asking, what if I said this? What if I actually stood up for myself? It's trying to close the gap between what happened and what you really wanted to happen.
Okay, I totally get that one. What's the second cause?
The second is the nervous system loop. And this one is fascinating because it's not always about a narrative or a specific waking event. Sometimes it is purely biological.
Meaning it's just stress?
Meaning hyperarousal, yeah. If you are chronically stressed out, your body gets stuck in a fight or flight mode. Even when you physically lie down to sleep, the nervous system is still ringing the alarm bell.
The cortisol is still pumping through your veins.
Exactly. So The dream just reflects this physiological state. That's why you get themes of running, being chased, or getting into physical fights.
So the actual plot of the dream is just a wrapper for the physical sensation of panic.
Yes, exactly. It's basically an error message from your biology saying, hey, we are not safe. You could be running from a monster, a tax auditor, or a giant chicken. It really doesn't matter.
The giant chicken is just a metaphor for the cortisol.
The content is totally irrelevant. The running is the point.
Wow, that perfectly explains those marathon running dreams where you wake up and you're actually physically exhausted.
Yeah, your heart rate is literally up.
Okay, and the third cause?
The third is the positive one. We call it learning, or the simulator.
The simulator, that sounds very high-tech.
Think of it like a flight simulator for pilots. Evolutionary psychology suggests that the mind uses dreams to train us for real-world threats.
Oh, like exposure therapy.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Let's say night 1, you dream you're running away from a ghost. You wake up terrified. Night 2, you run again, but maybe this time you stop and look back at it. Night 3, you actually fight the ghost.
So it's progressive, it builds on itself.
It does. The brain is re-scripting the event to build your emotional resilience. It is actively trying to teach you how to handle fear.
That really puts a whole new spin on it. It's not a nightmare, it's a training montage.
Exactly. If you let it play out, you might actually graduate from the simulation.
I love that. So if we accept that these dreams are trying to tell us something or train us, how do we actually know what we're dealing with? Because I'll be honest, my dreams are rarely clear-cut movies. They're usually these weird, disjointed messes.
And that is where categorization really helps. The source material breaks this down into 6 specific genres of dream sequences. And identifying which genre you're stuck in is really the first step to decoding the message.
Okay, let's run through these 6 genres. I want everyone listening to mentally check which one sounds like their recent nights. First up is the continuation sequence.
This is the Netflix style we mentioned in the intro. The plot literally continues from the previous night. You pause, you sleep, you hit play.
I have absolutely had this. It's bizarrely consistent. Like the layout of the room is the same and everything.
If you experience this, it means your mind is engaging in narrative construction. You are actively trying to solve a complex problem step by step.
So it's a good thing.
It's a great thing. It's a sign of a very capable, hardworking subconscious. It's taking a massive issue, maybe a career pivot or a really tough relationship struggle, and it's chewing on it in bite-sized pieces every night.
Okay, that's reassuring. So that's type 1. Type 2 is the theme sequence.
This is where the setting changes completely, but the plot is identical.
Give me an example of that.
So maybe one night you miss a flight at the airport. The next night, you're back in college and you miss a final exam. The night after that, you show up to a very important doctor's appointment a week late.
Different movie set, but the exact same script.
Right. Because the feeling is always, I'm not ready or I'm too late. This points to a recurring life cycle or a habit that just isn't working for you anymore.
Like self-sabotage.
Yeah, the subconscious is essentially shouting, hey, the strategy you keep using, it is failing in every single area of your life.
Ouch. That is a serious reality check.
It is. It's asking you to look at the overarching pattern, not the specific event of missing the flight.
Okay, got it. Next up is the emotion sequence.
This one is tricky because the visuals are usually completely chaotic and totally unrelated. You might dream of a bright, colorful circus one night and a dark war zone the next.
Which seem totally disconnected.
Right, and this is the key, the waking emotion is identical.
So you wake up feeling the exact same way every time.
Yes. Maybe you always wake up feeling a very distinct sense of shame or deep anger or profound grief. The visuals literally do not matter here, only the feeling does.
Because it's unprocessed emotion.
Exactly. It indicates unprocessed emotion that you are suppressing during the day, and so it leaks out at night.
It's like an emotional pressure valve.
Yeah.
The steam has to go somewhere. Okay, number 4. This one is really interesting to me. The place sequence.
This is when you keep returning to the exact same house, the same school, or maybe a totally made-up city that doesn't even exist in real life.
Oh, I have this. I have a specific shopping mall that does not exist in the real world, but I know exactly where the food court is in the dream. I know the layout perfectly.
That is so common. We're actually going to do a much deeper dive into this specific phenomenon in a future discussion because it is vast.
Oh.
But just briefly, this connects to your identity roots.
Yeah.
It's about where you came from and the very foundations of who you are. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm pinning that for later because I want to know why my identity is tied to a fictional food court. But moving on, number 5 is the teaching sequence.
These are your classic dreams set in classrooms or dealing with teachers, or sometimes they feel like video game-like missions.
Like the test you didn't study for, the ultimate classic.
It can be that, but often it's much more structured. It is your inner wisdom actively testing you.
Testing you how?
Well, if you pass the test in the dream, like if you finally answer the teacher's question or you complete the mission, it almost always leads to genuine growth in reality. It's that simulator we talked about earlier.
You level up in the dream to level up in real life. I love that. And finally, number 6, the stress loop.
This is the one we really want to avoid. It is just chaotic, exhausting running around. There is no plot. It's just noise.
And what does that mean deep down?
It means absolutely nothing deep.
Really? It's a red flag that your nervous system is simply overloaded. It does not need deep psychological analysis. It just needs rest. It needs you to put down the phone, stop reading the news at 11 p.m., and get some proper sleep hygiene.
I have to say, that is actually really freeing to hear. Sometimes a panic dream is just panic. It doesn't mean I have some deeply repressed childhood trauma I need to uncover.
Exactly. Don't dig for gold in a trash heap. Sometimes you really just need to take a nap.
Okay, so we've identified the 6 types. Now, what do we actually do with this information? Because the source material mentions this specific tool called the sequence map.
Yes, this is where we get into the actionable advice. You can't just let these recurring dreams float away every morning. You have to catch them. The sequence map is a structured way to track your dreams over a period of 2 to 7 days to actually find the pattern.
How does it work? Is it just keeping a dream journal on your nightstand?
Sorta, but it's much more structured than just writing down everything you remember. You only log a few specific things.
To keep it manageable.
Right. First, you log the night number. Then, a 1-line dream summary. Keep it brief. Do not write a 10-page novel. Just something like, chased by a tiger in my high school cafeteria. That's it.
Short and sweet. What comes next?
Next is the emotion code. What was the core feeling? Was it fear, relief, deep sadness? Then you list your symbols. Just 1 to 3 key items, like a locked door or a flood or a broken phone.
Okay, so just the standout elements.
Exactly. Then comes the theme. This is where you connect it to your waking life. Is this dream about work? Is it about love, money? And finally, you log the most important column of all, which is action.
Why is action the most important part of the map?
Because of the golden rule of dream work. A sequence without action will just keep extending forever.
A loop stays open.
Exactly. The mind wants you to do something about it, not just passively watch the movie.
Yeah.
If you don't take action in the waking world, the subconscious keeps the ticket open.
So we basically have to become detectives of our own minds. But honestly, reading these maps, that feels like the hard part. I feel like people get really hung up on things like, what does a blue curtain mean? Or what does my tooth falling out mean?
And that is the trap of the dream dictionaries. The source material suggests a very specific interpretation strategy to avoid getting lost in all those weird details. It's a 3-step process. Step 1 is emotion leads.
Meaning you completely ignore the dictionary.
Initially, yes. Let's say you see a terrifying monster in your dream, but in the dream you feel profound sadness rather than fear.
Oh, so the dream is actually about loss, not about being scared.
Exactly. The emotion is the truth. The image of the monster is just the wrapper your brain used to deliver the feeling.
That is such a great distinction. It cuts right through the weirdness. What's step 2?
Step 2 is symbol support. This means you ask what the symbol makes you feel personally. For example, a really common one is dreaming about the brakes failing in your car.
Which usually means you're afraid of a car crash, right?
In a basic dream dictionary, maybe. But psychologically, it almost always means feeling completely out of control in some area of your working life. It's not a psychic premonition of a traffic accident. It's a metaphor for losing your agency.
That makes total sense. And step 3.
Fact check. You connect that core emotion and that supporting symbol to the last 2 or 3 days of your real life.
You look for the trigger.
Right. Ask yourself, where do I feel out of control yesterday? Or who made me feel that deep sadness 2 days ago? Making that connection in reality is the key.
Okay, so once we found that connection, say I use the map, and I realize my dream about the failing brakes is actually about this huge project at work that's completely spiraling. How do I close the case? How do I actually stop the dream from coming back tonight?
The sources outline 5 specific closure techniques, and the best part is they are incredibly practical. Nothing mystical about them.
Right, hit us with them.
First is conversation closure. If your dream is clearly about unfinished business with a specific person, you have to speak the truth to them, even if it's just one single sentence.
Like saying, hey, I was actually really hurt by what you said yesterday.
Exactly. Just vocalizing it releases the pressure valve. The brain says, okay, message deliver.
Loop closed. Okay, what's the second one?
Second is decision closure. If you're constantly dreaming about being at a crossroads or wandering around lost, you need to just pick a path in real life. Even taking a tiny step, like just looking up a repairman's phone number, signals to your brain that the project has finally started.
Wait, so you don't even have to finish the overwhelming project, you just have to start it.
Yes, because the brain hates pending. Started is infinitely better than pending. As soon as you take an action, the brain checks the box.
That is a huge relief. Okay, third technique.
Boundary closure. If you dream of invasions like people breaking into your house or the walls of your bedroom falling down, you need to practice saying no in your waking life. You have to reestablish your perimeter.
I really love that visual. Securing the perimeter. What's the fourth?
This one is powerful. It's for the things you absolutely cannot say to a person directly. Maybe they've passed away, or maybe it's an abusive situation and it's too dangerous to confront them. We call this ritual closure.
This involves fire, doesn't it?
It usually does. You write a letter containing absolutely everything you want to say to them. The anger, the grief, the apology, all of it. And then you physically burn it or shred it.
But why destroy it? Why wouldn't you just keep it in a journal?
Because the physical act of destruction signals the end to the subconscious mind. Watching that paper literally turn to ash is a visceral visual signal that the loop is permanently closed. It can't be reopened.
Wow, that's powerful. And the fifth technique?
Nervous system closure. This goes back to those stress loops. Remember, there is no hidden meaning to find here. The only cure is sleep hygiene. Reducing stimuli, cutting out the late-night doom scrolling on your phone.
You just need to soothe the animal inside you.
Beautifully said. Yes.
Okay, so it sounds like we have a really solid plan. But for the listener who is just really stuck, someone who's been having the exact same exhausting dream every night for months, is there some kind of boot camp to force this closure?
There is. The author of our source material issues what they call a 7-day protocol.
A 7-day challenge. I am definitely listening.
It's basically a very short morning routine. You commit to spending exactly 10 minutes every single morning. You spend 3 minutes logging the dream, 2 minutes checking your emotions, 3 minutes updating the sequence map, and 2 minutes setting one very small action for the day.
That is totally doable. Everyone has 10 minutes. What does the week actually look like?
The timeline breaks down like this. Days 1 and 2, you do absolutely nothing but look for the pattern. Don't try to fix anything yet, just observe. Day 3, you review the map and you choose your closure method. Are you going to talk to someone, write the burn letter, or do you just need to rest?
Okay, and day 4?
Day 4 is action day. You have to do the thing. You make the difficult phone call, you burn the letter, you set the boundary.
It's go time. Then what happens on day 5?
Day 5 is all about rest. You cut the drama, you soothe your nerves, you've done the hard work, so let your nervous system recalibrate. Day 6, if the dream or the feeling is still lingering, you do the ritual closure, just to be sure, write it down and burn it.
And day 7 is just a review of the week.
Exactly.
But what does success actually look like here? Because I feel like people will do this and expect the dream to just magically vanish on day 8.
And this is so important to manage expectations. Success is not always the dream just vanishing instantly into thin air.
So what is it?
Success is the feeling becoming noticeably lighter. Or maybe the narrative of the dream finally changes.
Like instead of running away, you turn around and throw a punch.
Yes, you start fighting back or you finally unlock the door. That shift means the mental file is officially moving from pending to processed.
That is such a healthier way to look at our minds. I feel like we're so obsessed with instantly fixing ourselves or optimizing our sleep.
Right, but it's a process. Your brain is working with you, not against you.
This whole discussion has been incredibly illuminating. It really shifts the perspective from, my brain is haunting me, to my brain is just trying to help me finish my to-do list.
That is the core takeaway. These recurring dreams are not your enemies. They are a very persistent friend tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, this matters. Let's fix it.
Let's fix it so we can both get some sleep.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned earlier about the places dreaming of the same house or that completely fictional shopping mall. That's a huge topic.
Oh, it really is. While we just touched on it briefly today, the next deep dive we do is going to be specifically about return to same place dreams.
I am so ready for that.
We'll look at why we go back to old high schools, why we dream of childhood houses but with secret rooms we've never actually seen. It connects very deeply to how we construct our own identity.
I cannot wait for that one. We're definitely going to analyze my fictional food court.
Oh, we absolutely will.
But for now, to everyone listening, I want to leave you with a thought. What if your recurring dream isn't a glitch, but your subconscious actually trying to write a better future for you? Take a look at your open loops today. What business is unfinished in your waking life? Maybe it's a tough conversation, or maybe it's just finally giving yourself permission to just rest. Try out the sequence map.
And remember, the mind just wants you to act. Even a tiny step counts.
So go take that small step. Good night, everyone, and sweet dreams.